blow out your patellar tendon machine guy, Robert Griffin. I think they
after 12 weeks off too. I mean, it's.
I don't even know why they're doing this. That's ridiculous. If the guy is
trying not to get Cody Kessler killed.
So they're trying to get Griffin killed?
Well, I mean, he's more fresh and he's not 2 concussions deep on the season. I really think that they should shut Cody Kessler down. There's no way that kid should be risking another concussion. There's no way in his rookie season.
No, he's a backup quarterback.
He's too deep. He's getting pounded into the ground, so I feel for him. I think the defensive play this week is pretty easy, and I think the Minnesota is your really nice choice. That's a team that's fighting for something. Jacksonville doesn't seem to be fighting for much, up to and including their head coach, Gus Bradley, who I don't know that he survives the season. Blake Bortles has been terrible. He loves to throw to the other team, loves to fumble, loves to throw the ball into the dirt, holds onto the ball entirely too long, allowing sacks behind a lackluster offensive line. I love Minnesota's defense this weekend.
Yeah, I do too. And Alan Hearns and Julius Thomas are both going to miss another game likely. So you're going to have the backup tight end. You're going to have Marquise Wilson and Allen Robinson, who hasn't done shit all year, as your targets. So I think they're not really going to be able to pass the ball at all on Minnesota. I think they're not going to get much. I think Chris Ivory is limited, so he's got a chance to return, and they're not going to do much. The whole team, really, their offense, it says start in Minnesota.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just I was getting my NFL updates, and apparently Kelechi Osemele, the offensive lineman, the big left guard for the Raiders, is inactive tonight, and I don't know why. That is not good news for the Black Hats, man. That just changes everything about this entire Raider matchup tonight. He is a key cog in that offensive line, so please excuse me for my distraction.
Breathe. It's okay. I know your heart rate just went up 50 beats.
It did. It just went up a few right now, and that's I don't understand. So that said, let's slide quickly into the 4 o'clock games.
Okay.
Let's get a lineup put together. Let's build a perfect beast one time, just once. You got 4 o'clock only here.
Okay, well,
the schedule is pretty interesting.
So not the Express, the 4 p.m. only. It's Sunday at 4:05 conference is what you're telling me.
Yeah, that's 4:05 and 4:25. So you've got the Jets at the Niners, the Saints at the Bucks, Atlanta at the Rams, and Seattle at Green Bay. 4 games to choose from. Put together a monster. This is tough, and you pointed it out to me. I didn't recognize it right away, but you're certainly right. There's so many good quarterbacks in this mix. And 2 of them aren't Ryan Fitzpatrick and Colin Kaepernick. So we can go right at Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Jameis Winston, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees in reverse order. I think in this, there's a reason why you would skip this entire collection.
Yeah, it's challenging. What I'll do...
start Jared Goff.
No, definitely not going to start. And it's kind of funny. We'll do it like this. We're going to take Aaron Rodgers out just because they're playing Seattle, and I can see that.
The worst matchup.
Not shutting Aaron Rodgers down by any stretch, but limiting him, if that means anything. Maybe 18 points, okay? So we're going to take him out. We're going to take out Matt Ryan because we're just not so sure that he's going to have a dynamic enough offense without Julio Jones. That I don't know if I really want to start. I could see at L.A., I could just see them getting to him. You know, they're I don't know. I would feel really comfortable starting Russell Wilson out of all these guys. But granted, if you really look at the cost, the difference between Jameis and Russell Wilson is only $300. So I'd probably, in considering I'm going to focus on a lot of the same players, either way, I'm not going to worry so much about stacking and such. I may on a couple, but I have no problem starting a lineup with Russell Wilson, and then if I have $300 left, starting the exact same lineup and plugging in Jameis. For sure.
Okay. Yeah, that game got moved to 4 o'clock, which got very interesting. So tell me the lineup here as you go with your 4 o'clock. Rate me those quarterbacks in order, what you just said. Just rate them for me. Give me a 1 through.
Okay, so I would go who I'm going to start. Russell Wilson 1, Jameis Winston 2, Drew Brees 3. I'm going to go with Matt Ryan Or no, we'll do Aaron Rodgers 4 and then Matt Bryant 5.
Okay. I'm not going to have too much of a different variation on that, really. I think you're right in taking Rodgers out of the equation. He might have a good day. Keep in mind, that's at Lambeau. We don't know what that weather's going to look like. And Aaron Rodgers in a hamstring, I'll kiss your ass if it makes a big difference. He'll probably come up gimping a couple times and then run for 15 yards and a first down. But I think the right play here is probably Jameis.
Okay. Yeah. See, there's nothing that told me putting Russell Wilson down that I could just do that and be comfortable.
Yeah, I could too. I think that's a start that he probably has a little bit of a field day. You know what? He doesn't have a ton of weapons. He really doesn't. But he's got some good ones. The ones he has are howitzer cannons, and Mike Evans is a real special player. Cameron Brate's turned into a damn good football player as well. I like Winston in the start spot here. So I'm going to put a lineup together, and for the first time in my life, I'm going to start Jameis Winston someplace. Jump on some running backs with me. I want to get cleaned up here.
Oh, man, Thomas Rawls, like we talked about, is a nice play.
Yeah.
I actually, it's funny, when I logged onto this, it saves your lineups that you've tried, and I've tried lineups all week at this slot. And Rawls, these guys are already there, so I didn't have to build one. I like Rawls. I like Devonta Freeman. And then, obviously, we talked, I like Matt Forte. I don't know if I'd stress Matt Forte in all, in a lot of lineups. This was so challenging. That's why I had hesitation. But if I had to pick two, I'm going to go with Thomas Rawls and Devonta Freeman. I'm also trying to make a little bit more unique lineup because obviously we're a little more limited on the pools that we're picking. So
sure,
you kind of want to pick that esoteric, that player. No one picked.
That's right. That is right. I like the Thomas Rawls play. I'm not afraid of guys like Matt Forte at all. I think they got great matchups. I'm just scared of that Jets team altogether. Forte, the guy I'm not afraid of. So in this one, I'm going to go Thomas Rawls, and in order to try to keep the price down, I'm not afraid to sneak in a guy like Tevin Coleman, but not against that Rams defense. What I'm doing, Mike, here is I'm searching for a valuable player at a lower price range, and I think the only guy you might really run across could potentially be a guy like Todd Gurley.
Yeah, that's not bad. You know what I found out, though, with the way the matchups go? The chalk at wide receiver, it made it simple for me. Mike Evans is definitely a must-start in every single play at this slot. But then Julio Jones has got, we talked about him, so I'm not starting him. Then Brandon Marshall is your next guy down. I don't know how confident I feel about what he's going to produce. I mean, he'll probably get a touchdown and 50, 60 yards, but he's obviously fallen off his normal pace that he's had the last few years. And then we have the Green Bay guys, and I don't know how confident I am with them. So now you're looking at Doug Baldwin. Now you're at the 7th grade. You're going to have plenty of money, so you can do with it.
You are. Yeah, there's a lot of cash to float around here. So go through the wide receivers quickly again. Mike Evans is a must-start. I'm really still afraid to not start Julio Jones.
Okay. Well, that makes
I want to see Julio Jones on the field. I know that toe is an issue, but I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah, and we don't yet know the severity of it. Turf toe could be a generic type. Is it severe and the guy literally can't walk and they're just going to eject it and he's going to run around until he can't stand up?
That shit's no joke. That's taken out some hardcore football players over the years.
Exactly. Well, you've ever stubbed your toe and had a residual injury from there. Every time you pivot, it's not solid. It hurts like a bitch.
That's right. It's not about being a tough guy. It's about I can't do anything. I can't plant. I can't turn. I can't move. I've had a similar issue. We're going back 15 years, but I certainly had it, and it's uncomfortable. You can't do much. And when you're this special athlete that Julio Jones is, you start taking this guy from an A+ down to a C- because he can't move. He's no good.
Yeah.
So, but I still think you got to find a way to fit Julio Jones into a lineup with Mike Evans. Where do you make room for that third wide receiver? Who is it?
Well, like I said, if I want to, this lineup I'm looking at right now, I can fit in Brandon Cooks.
Excellent. So let's move on to tight ends.
I got Cameron Brate because I'm gonna rotate him with Jameis. I have the money, and then that leaves me either way because I'm calling the defense. This is where I'm trying to be a little different. I'm calling Bucs defense again. They're cheap at $4,100. and they really, I think they're going to sleep on people. You see that, we talked about what they've done and they're doing, and I just think Seattle, obviously, they're the juiciest play. Atlanta, I'm not too impressed with them. They have
their defense stinks.
They have the best matchup, but they're not that good. Seattle's the best team, and their matchup doesn't scream because they're playing Green Bay. How many interceptions are they going to get? If one.
No, and I think Tampa at 4,100 at home, the way that front four has been playing, it's probably your best bet because it leaves you enough room to have some big top-tier players in your lineup. So the way I lined it up, I'm at 0 left with the Buccaneers defense, and that's my Jameis stack with Winston, Rawls, Gurley, Mike Evans, Julio Jones, Brandon Cooks, Cameron Brate, Matt Bryant, and the Bucs defense. That's special.
Nice. I can't do Matt Bryant. I have $4,900 left in this stack because I went with Devonta Freeman, so he's a little bit more money. So I would probably, just looking at everything, I'd probably go with Steven Hashchaka, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, there you go.
How come you don't take me?
Just because I think, I could see that game, especially there's something about field goal kickers when the weather gets shitty, and he's pretty accurate. He's a good kicker. So I'm not too afraid. Again, I'd have to look and see, is it going to be snowing? Is it going to be really windy, like you say? If it is, then I would pick somebody else. But for now, assuming the weather would be feasible for kickers, I like what probably he'll do in the matchup. Because I think the game, Green Bay will put some points on the board. I don't think they're going to get shut out. They're not Carolina, but they're going to lose, I believe. They have to lose.
Yeah, it's going to be I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. How's that sound? I want to see if Green Bay wants to be in the playoffs, if this is a team that's capable of it or not. I'm curious to see if Seattle can travel, can go into a stadium and win somewhere outside of that 12-man atmosphere. So on that note and that said, man, we're coming up on an hour on our show here tonight as well. So let's do me this favor. First and foremost, congratulations on making the playoffs. Good luck to you. I hope you don't have that much luck, and I hope we have a well-fought, good battle, and I win.
Yeah, well, I don't wish the same sentiments.
I'm sure.
It has been tough, and it's kind of indicative of how hard the season has been for daily fantasy because studs really haven't shown up on a steady enough basis to carry teams and make them dominant. Everyone seems to, at least who we play with, we have 4 teams that are 8-5, then we have one that's 7-6, then we have 2 that are 6-7, and one of the 6 and 7 guys didn't make the playoff, the other one did. So we have a really and between all those guys, it's like 80 points from top to bottom.
Yeah,
so,
it's not a lot of disparity. It was really a good season, fantasy-wise.
It was challenging. So you could see why it transferred over to daily fantasy. It's been difficult. It's been way harder than last year. But whatever, what can you do? We can only be as lucky as I guess the universe.
And that's certainly a lot of it. Luck has a ton to play in it. And on that note, like I mentioned, Kelechi Osemele out for the Raiders tonight. Raiders are still a 3-point underdog. If you got to pick, give me one, man. The Raiders are getting 3 points in Kansas City. It's 20 degrees there. There's ice on the field. What do you think?
That game just screams, especially because the way the offense looks. I'm sorry to say it. I think Chiefs are going to do this one. I think they are. We'll see what Oakland's made of because, especially what you just talked about, losing their was it their tackle or their guard? Yeah,
he's the left guard, but he is a monster. I mean, this is a guy who is the hole opener. He's the road grader. He's the big nasty up front, and I certainly don't like him out of this game.
Yeah, with Justin Houston back, and he seems to be totally healthy, and then obviously Eric Berry did what he did last week. I mean, I think they're going to win. This is a Kansas City game all the way.
It is. This is certainly going to test the Raiders' depth up front and see. I'm assuming Austin Howard will probably move over to left guard, and he's a right tackle and not a great one. We'll see. That Raider offensive line's been very good all year long, and it's been excellent, actually. But to lose the free agents they brought in to make them excellent, I'm just not happy. My stomach hurt. I'm going to go cook and drink a beer. So on that note, my friend, we have emptied the tank. We have torn it up. We have brought you the best information in daily fantasy sports you are going to find. Mike and I are both unemployed, and we spend 24 hours a day doing this. None of those things are true. But